Ladies, hey, thank you for the clap. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I always fix my microphone as soon as we start. I don't know why. It's like I've been sitting here all day, and then as soon as we start, I'm like, I need this to be higher. How's it going, you guys? Welcome to the party. Welcome to the show. It's episode 10 of season 2, and I'm very, very excited. You guys know how I have an obsession with increments of 5. Like we celebrate every 5th episode, and the big, the 10s and 20s are very important. So I'm very excited to have a very special guest on for the 10th episode. Let's see who's in the chat. Wolflust is in the chat. How's it going, brother? Kragers, Adnan Roche, Julian's in the house. Obviously, he was part of the pre-pro there. Derpy Paws is in his house. Ace, what's going on, my brother? Thank you for coming down. Svengali 22. Look at it. Look at all these beautiful people. How's it going, you guys? Sir Edmund Black is in the house. What's going on, man? Yeah, look at all these fucking people. That's why you go live at 10:18. Listen. It's we're going inshallah time here. Okay, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. All the Europeans are like you're late. It's not 18 minutes isn't late in the Middle East. But anyway, it's episode 10. We have my dude Kevin Foley as a guest today. If you don't know who he is, ! Guest in the chat should give you a little idea of who he is. But dude's a fucking beast of a drummer. I mean, I got to see him up close and personal several times. A little while ago. It's not that we're not old. It was just a little while ago before things kicked off. And back in the day when I used to film a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, I've seen a lot of people drum up close and personal, and this motherfucker can drum. He's also been in like 1,000 bands. So we'll definitely have a long conversation about all of that. But you know what it is. You know how it is. You know how we do it. Who's gonna hit the intro, you guys? Somebody has to say hit the intro before we officially start the episode. And questions, yes. If you have any questions, there's a redeem in the channel points. You can ask a question over there. Got a question for our guest? Hit the ask a question. Hit the intro. Here we go. Kevin, welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for the
How's it going, dude?
Great, and you?
It's been going well. We caught up very briefly just before the live hit, and I think we calculated the last time we actually got to see each other was maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah, that's a long time. Way too long.
It's been a fucking minute.
Yeah.
So I always say. I love to start the podcast off by saying, I gave you a botched intro before we played the intro. But in your own words, if you can introduce yourself to the tribe.
Well, so my name's Kevin. I play drums, and I play drums for different bands, as many bands as possible. And so I live in France, and yeah, that's pretty much it, actually. So I've played with, different bands, but I guess you guys... Like I can see I have some questions. Maybe you have like the ! Question thing. So if you guys want to know,
we'll be diving deep into all the tribe's questions because I know a lot of them already have some stuff lined up. So let me just open this questions queue so I make sure we don't miss any of your guys' questions. There we go. Questions box is open, you guys. But like you said, you've been a part of a lot of fucking bands, and like we were saying, we met over 10 years ago, where you were playing drums for Dubai's Nervecell, and you were actually doing double duty for a while with Benighted, your OG band kind of, and Nervecell. So let's just go back to that time period. What was that time period like for you, and how you found Nervecell and all that?
So Nervecell, the way I got into Nervecell was we played in a festival in Portugal, and that's the first time I've met Nervecell. And at that time, they had a French manager called Fab. And so they were on a European tour as well, and on the side, and Benighted too. And so the drummer, Louis Rondo, Austrian guy, brilliant drummer, he had a family problem during the tour in Europe. So he had to go back home in Australia. And so Nervecell called me the day after that, asked me if I could just replace Louis for the rest of the tour, and I happily did it.
So this is one of my biggest recollections of that whole thing, is that you basically took a train ride, maybe an 8-hour train ride out, and played a show the next day.
I think the thing that happened was actually the Nervecell guys came in my area, actually.
Yeah.
Next to Saint-Etienne, and rehearsed at a friend's place, a friend called Freddy. We rehearsed for an afternoon, and then we took off for the show. And I don't know which show it was, but yeah, we finished the tour.
But basically a couple of hours prep before the tour. That was it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And yeah, that's when around that time is when you and I met. And at that time I was doing a lot of you guys know in the chat, I was doing a lot of photography, videography for bands, and I was focusing on Nervecell. I went on tour with them to do all their social media posts and all that stuff. And I remember meeting you at I forgot where it was. I think it was Czech Republic the first time, and having a conversation with you. And I was like, dude, this beast of a drummer is like the chillest motherfucker. He doesn't drink, he doesn't party. You're soft spoken, and then you go behind the kit and you showed me how your weird grip blast beat thing happens, and I was like, how did this guy how did this happen? It was an enigma of sorts. So we haven't had the chance to actually sit down and go through your history when we were crammed in a van trying not to smell each other's farts, but
I have to say
it was. So I'm glad that we have a chance now. How the fuck did you even get into music? Take us back. What was your first love when it came to music?
Well, my parents are metalheads, basically, so that helps, And I think I have videos of me in a diaper, 2 years old, playing on the casseroles, playing drums on casseroles, to Guns N' Roses. There was a live in France, and we had that VHS, and so I was just playing on top of that. And so I was 2-3 years old, and then. Yeah, my parents made me listen a lot to Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, which was my first band that I was really a fan of. That's actually Deep Purple was the first show I've ever seen when I was, I don't know, maybe 8, something like that.
Wow.
And the first CD I've ever had, which was mine, the first twos are Bombers from Motorhead and the first Van Halen. And yeah, I've always been listening to rock and metal, so thanks to my parents, I guess.
It's amazing because when we started this podcast, I always used to say, metal's made a bunch of people out of a bunch of people that didn't necessarily go with what their parents said, because that was my experience, and I felt like I projected it a lot. I always feel like metalheads is just people that are not necessarily, they don't necessarily agree with their parents. And doing this podcast, I've realized there's a fuck ton of people that grew up because their parents listened to good music and are now part of the fucking metal scene.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to disagree with parents who were listening to Black Sabbath anyway. So
yeah. But so Deep Purple and Black Sabbath and that kind of stuff kicked you off. Did you, from the Pan and Pot days, did you know that you wanted to be a musician of any kind, or was it just instinct, this is exactly what I'm vibing?
Yeah, I knew it, but I didn't know that I wanted to be a drummer. And I always ask myself, why do I even play drums? Because I cannot recall why did I start in playing drums, actually. The thing is I just wanted to be in a band. and it just happened to be a drummer.
But I mean,
Yeah.
you were. This is one of the things. You weren't like a jack of all trades, right? You know, there's a lot of people in the industry that are like, I play some guitar, I play some bass, I scream a little bit, I dabble on drums. But you were like, I'm a drummer from the beginning. Was that the case, or or did you pick up a bass guitar at some point?
No, I only played drums, and I couldn't ever sing or play guitars or play bass, anything else. No, only drums. And so I've started playing drums back when I was 5, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and never stopped.
What is this?
Ho ho!
I don't actually know what we have the full plan. Wait, let me switch to the screen. I don't know. Yeah, but we have that unlocked. What is going on? We'll figure it out. Give me 2 secs, you guys. And so I just wanted to ask you, since 5, when was like the first drum set and the first, like, you know, I'm not on pots and pans anymore. When did that go down?
At 5, like I had my.
That was the first drum set?
Yeah, like that was a brand called Deep. That was a red drum kit, and it sounded probably terrible. And then I think like my first proper drum kit was a Tama. Actually, I think I must have it like when I was 12, and that was like a dream come true for me, having that kit.
Wow. Yeah, that I can't, because see, this is why I keep saying, because there's a lot of people that especially from this side of the world that grew up with, like, you know, I didn't get my first kit until I was 21 or whatever it is. So having the support and the backing of a family like completely changed it, right?
Yeah. But I shouldn't say too many good things about them, because I'm pretty sure my mom's watching right now. So.
Let them know. Listen. You guys still have to, you know, work hard to get that love, right? You know.
Yeah.
So 5 with the drum set, growing up listening to amazing music, surrounded by your parents and your family. When was that switch for, like, you know what? I think I'm gonna focus on this stuff instead of anything else.
As soon as I started, and I think I've been in a band. My first band was when I was 13, something like that. It wasn't any pro stuff. It was just punk rock with friends. But my friends were already older than me. They were like 20 years old. So like being 13 and playing with people who are 20 years old, it's you know, that there's different mentality and all that, but they're the best. Of course, they're still my best friends, like among my best friends for sure. And then my first pro kind of band was Benighted. Actually, I joined Benighted back when I was 17.
Wow.
In 2006. Yeah, and yeah, but I think I knew that I wanted to be a drummer, like a professional drummer, like since early days. Yeah, and I actually quit school as soon as possible. And so in France, it's legally possible to quit school at 16. So I quit school at 16, and I remember that all the teachers told me, like, you're making the right choice. So
wow,
maybe I was too stupid for school, but no. They were very good teachers, and they knew. They took care of me like that too, you know.
Yeah,
allowing me to pursue the dreams. Yeah.
At 17, joining Benighted is a pretty heavy blow, right? Because the guys have been around for a while before you joined, I believe.
Almost 10 years, yeah.
Almost 10 years before you joined.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's actually really amazing. I didn't know it was that much, to be honest.
Yeah, Benighted started in '98.
Wow, I didn't. I had no idea that was the case. But listen, we always have to talk about this because it could be the best thing in the world or the worst thing in the world. What was the first band title? What was the first band name?
Oh, White Card.
White Card.
Yeah.
All right, chat. You guys have to let us know. Chat has to let us know. White Card, yay or nay for our first band name for a 13-year-old punk band.
Yeah, I mean, like influences were like Pennywise, Anti-Flag, and yeah, bands like that. So not really metal,
Yeah.
Or punk rock.
Yeah. So the very first, like you said, professional kind of experience was you didn't have a lot of time slugging it out at the assembly halls kind of bands or playing shitty venues. You were too young to play bars at that point, and then boom, you're in Benighted and straight out the gate into a 10-year-old band that was already touring and have albums out and stuff.
Yeah, I remember back when I was in a White Card, the bass player, who happens to be my brother's best friend, actually, he had to write me some fake parents stuff to allow me to play in bars.
Oh, because you couldn't physically actually go in?
No, I was too young.
Wow. That's amazing.
Mm-mm.
So what was going back to those going back to those early days, how was the actual interaction with the first time you met the guys from Benighted and auditioned? Like how was that for you?
Oh, they're the best by far. I mean, they're still my best friends, and I owe them a lot. Like they were believing in someone who was 17 years old and never played any blast beat or double bass before, and I've never heard anything about death metal before, and they just thought for some reason that it was a good idea to let me have a try, and I told them, like, give me a few days, and for some reason it worked out. But
give me a few days to figure out this blast beat thing. Is that?
Yeah, but the thing is that I'm pretty sure that if I could listen to my first shows with Benighted now, I would be ashamed, of course. And yeah, but I mean, they're very friendly, and I think it's like every band that meets Benighted always kept saying how friendly they are, like Olivier, Julien, and all the members from the past and present as well.
I can definitely vouch for that too. I can definitely vouch for that. I remember hanging with the guys and meeting them for the first time. I forgot. It was someone's birthday from the band during that weekend at between Brutal Assault and I think it was Summer Breeze. So
that must have been maybe it was it wasn't Litchi. I don't know, actually.
It might have been.
Yeah, possible.
I just remember meeting them for the first time, and they're like, "Hey, we're partying now." It's just like immediately, just like there were no questions asked whatsoever. Just you're in the team now. That's it.
Yeah. That's I mean, Julien is. It sounds stupid to say that, but he's really into rugby, and that the rugby mentality is like really friendly, and he lives like that. He's always super friendly to anyone he meets, and still like that.
Yeah. It's amazing. This is why I was telling you, meeting you guys for the very first time and getting to hang out with you. It was like a black and white switch, a yin yang between the people on stage. And then as soon as you guys walk off, it's like all hugs and very chill, and everyone's hanging out, brotherly love. Because we have met other bands that were dicks off stage too. They were just as evil looking off stage as they were on stage.
Yeah, but there's quite a few bands like that. I cannot understand why, but yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You did 10 years with Benighted. 10 years. Looking back at that time, from the first shows that if you watch now you probably not like, all the way up until the more recent ones. What do you take away from that experience with that band outside of the friendship? You as a person, Kevin Foley, looking back at Benighted, what was that experience like for you?
Oh, the best. As I said, they're still my best friend. Actually, I just spoke to Gab like a few minutes ago, and I mean we're trying to meet as much as possible, doing barbecues and stuff. And yeah, I think the best shows we've had. One of the very best was back in 2007, I think. It was for a French webzine called VS Webzine. Mm-hmm. So I was 19 years old at the time. It was in Paris. So we were in a van, and of course the van just switched off, like at the peripheric of Paris, in the ring, we call it. And so we had to go to the venue with all the drum kits, guitars, equipment, through the subway, and with the guitars dug. And we arrived like just 5 minutes before the show. And I think that's the craziest audience we've ever had. Like
you guys public transported all the way to the show.
Yeah, and we just arrived 5 minutes before, and there was like a Braveheart on stage, Wall of Death on stage. And wow. I think that's the only time I saw that.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that on stage. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was brutal, pretty brutal. What about the other live shows? Like Hellfest was, of course. I think Hellfest is the biggest festival Benighted has ever done. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was very happy with the cities, the albums actually we did together.
Yeah, this is one of the things I always think about when someone's been in band for a very long time is because there's audible representation of a moment in time. You know what I mean? Like you can put that CD and you could smell the fucking studio or the jam room that you guys wrote that in. And I can imagine. Oh, thank you for changing the lights, guys. the chat can change the lights. I forgot to tell you that. Yeah, I mean, if one of them throws enough bits, probably they'll figure it out. But yeah, looking back, like you can get the exact same moment that things happened. I always is it a bittersweet looking back, or is it more like of a what's that word? Content? Is it like are you comfortable with everything that you guys did?
Yeah. I think pretty much, yeah. Actually, no regret at all.
Yeah. Because around that time that I met you, I remember, you got the Nervecell gig. We had a couple of conversations about, I would fucking love to drum for this band. I would love to drum for this band. And one of the names that you threw up was Sepultura, and I remember that specifically because I was like, man, I would kill just to see them live, let alone be on stage with them. And then a couple of years later, I check on Facebook, and this guy is behind the kit for the band that you said you would dream to play for. Yeah,
that happened. Yeah,
it happened. So what was the mental approach that you had, like drumming? Coming up, building with a band from the grassroots. You spent 10 years with them. You started doing some session work here and there, and then what was the bridge between those two worlds?
I mean, I didn't have time to have any approach actually, because so the way it happened was Sepultura played in Bourg-en-Bresse, so that's in France, it's like 50 kilometers away from where I live. And so the drummer at the time was already Eloy Casagrande. and so he hits the drums really, really hard, and he hits them so hard that he broke his finger. And a friend of mine, who I was always thank him for that. His name is Michel. He has a band called Seven Gates, a brilliant death metal band. So I went to the tour manager of Sepultura right after the show, and so they talked a bit together. And the tour manager said that probably the tour will be the remaining shows would be cancelled, because of the broken finger. And Michel told Rink, I have a friend, we could play with you guys tomorrow. And so Rink was like, okay, let's try it. So Michel called me at like 4 a.m., woke me up. I think he was a bit drunk, maybe, I don't know. No, and so I just answered, and I was like, he told me like, hey, do you want to play in Sepultura tonight? I was like, fuck off, I'm sleeping. And so, and he called me back, and no, I was serious. The drummer explained to me the situation, and as soon as that happened, I couldn't sleep, so I just been listening to the songs and waiting for the manager's phone call, which happened a few hours after that. And he told me like, sorry, we're not gonna do it with you. We're gonna try. We're already at the next venue, and we're gonna try with the drum tech and the drummer from the first band, the opening band. Mm-hmm. So I was like, that's already cool. I was happy.
Close enough, right?
Yeah, close enough for a few hours to have the opportunity to maybe play in Sepultura. And at 6 p.m., Ring, the tour manager, called me like, so do you want to switch on, and do you want to go to the train station and join us? And of course, that's what I did. So I joined them next to Marseille in France, and we took the bus to the...
No, we're still good. We're still good.
Okay, cool.
I don't know why that happened.
Yeah, so we went to Barcelona, and we just rehearsed one time in a fence. That picture. Yeah. So we rehearsed in a garage, actually, in a basement. At like a fan of Sepultura fan, he just offered to jam in the basement, and that's what we did. And the evening we played the show. And wow. That's how it happened.
Wait, let's go back to that rehearsal. So not only was it last minute, not only did you have very little time, but there wasn't a rehearsal space. So you found the Sepultura fan that has a basement.
Yeah, exactly.
And you guys practiced the set for the very first time together.
Yeah, and we played the same night.
And played that night to a Sepultura audience.
Yeah, and I think that was the biggest show of the tour. Like,
wow.
25,000 or something like that. Yeah, huge festival. But wow. The good thing was I kind of didn't have the time to stress, actually. I was just focused.
Yeah,
and I didn't even realize that was happening,
Listen, I forget my own fucking lyrics to Svengali, so I can't even imagine rocking up to a brand new band and going, oh, these iconic songs that everyone fucking knows. I'm just gonna have a couple of hours. I need a couple of hours to learn this.
But that's the thing, as you said, there's our iconic songs, and that made it easier. Actually, most of the songs I kind of knew already.
Yeah.
And actually, they were okay. My favorite Sepultura album is actually Rawback, which is an album most people don't even care about. But
yeah,
to me, it's
and that's brilliant. A deep cut for most people. Yeah.
Yeah, the songs, the sound, all of it is brilliant. And I wanted to play some songs of this record, but the guys from Sepultura actually forgot the songs, so we couldn't. And, well, that was funny. And yeah.
Walking up to Andreas Kisser being like, don't you remember it?
Yeah. So the thing is, I only had to learn like maybe six or seven songs that I really didn't know, like from the last record or something like that. And yeah.
Yeah. So there's a bit of a theme here with you jumping in last minute. You have this unique approach to drumming where you've learned more than one set in an amount of time that normal people will take to learn a song. Let's just put it that way. And most of the time it's filling in like last minute, like you said. An injury, or like with Louis Rando, he had to fly back to Australia. And I want to couple this with a question from the question box. When you fill in for other bands' drummers, was learning their tracks in a very short time an interesting challenge for you, or was it more of a stressful experience? And I want to add to that: is there a certain technique other than just playing the song in your head? Is there a pattern or something that helps you get through them?
No, just keep listening, like listening billions of time, and even listening, even hearing without listening to, not being always focused. But yeah, just keep listening. And the thing I won't do is actually play drums at the same time as I'm listening. And there's
so you're 100% just like soaking it in.
Yeah, just listening. Most of the time I didn't even have the time to play drums. So when situations like that happened, so just keep listening.
Yeah,
billions of times.
You guys, next time I forget my Svengali lyrics here and and you make fun of me, just be like, "Hey, motherfucker, listen to your own music."
I'm just actually listening to songs until the point where I can sing them in my head,
Yeah,
just
memorizing everything.
Yeah,
that's very fucking cool. And I think, I correct me if I'm wrong, but working with different groups of people, working with different camps, especially having been with the same dudes for 10 years, and then venturing out into that world, you kind of pick up a little something from each group.
Yeah, I think that's possible. But by far, my most important bands were like who taught me the most was Benighted by far.
Yeah.
You,
that's the place where you learned everything you know, basically. Is that what you think?
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
Awesome.
And
man.
To a different, maybe also Lofofora. I think Lofofora and Benighted are the two bands that are almost similar, like human-wise.
Yeah. I'm pulling up the list here because we have, and you guys, we have a long list. So we have Decapitated, Sabaton, Disavowed, Black Bomb, Kronos, and Black Bomb A, Nervecell. We have by the way, some of your band names, they're worse than my last name. Like what are you working on now? What's the most recent band? Because I'm gonna try to say it.
Oh, Hjelvik.
Yeah, okay, see, it's a good thing I didn't say it, because I was gonna say something completely different.
So Hjelvik, that's taken from Erlend Hjelvik. That's the ex-singer from Kvelertak.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know this band.
Kvelertak, yeah, they're pretty big in the Middle East. A lot of people like them here.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of them. And so Erlend, and I met him back in 2016. Back when I was living in Norway, actually, back when I was with Abbath. And so he happened to leave Kvelertak, and he just asked me if I was interested to be in his new band, and of course I was, and that's how it happened.
And you guys have been working in the background, writing and recording, and there's an album coming out very soon, right?
It already came out like a few months ago through Nuclear Blast.
Awesome.
So first record and first label. So yeah, pretty good. And so we recorded it back in 2018, I want to say, maybe 2019. Yeah, 2019 September in Portland, US, and it came out. I guess. I don't know actually. I think it came out like 6 months ago.
Okay, 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So this is a great segue into this part of the conversation, because we still haven't talked about the madness that was 2020, and what it was like for a full-time musician, what it was like for someone that just recorded and wants to release a brand new album, what it was like for all the other reasons. Take me back to March 2020. What was it like in France? Were you in France? What was it like for you in that period?
So at that time I was actually recording for Loudblast, a French death metal band. I think they played in Dubai actually.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did a recording for them because Hervé, the drummer, injury as well. Like, I don't know, maybe my mom just keeps injuring all the other drummers, and I don't know. But yeah, Hervé was injured, so I just replaced him for the recording. And I can remember that every evening we were just watching the news, like looking at the infos and. Down. I was in the train to go back to my girlfriend's dad home actually. So I spent the first lockdown for 2 months with my girlfriend, and her dad had his place, and that was very cool actually, to only with my girlfriend. I mean, I love her, of course, but not to be locked in a really small flat in Lyon.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, getting locked in with your girlfriend's dad is a good way to get to know someone, right?
Yeah. Well, but it is super fun actually. We had a lot of fun, and the good thing was that they have a house, so they have a garden. You can go outside. I live in a flat myself, and with my girlfriend, so it's different. And living in a city in which you cannot go out, it's pretty annoying. So
what was the music front like? Did you? Because I remember, and I told you this when we were setting up the stream. Svengali released an album on the 20th of March, 2020, which was the day the world went into lockdown. We were supposed to play a show with Lacuna Coil, and then we had a bunch of plans in Europe, and we had a couple of things set up that it was going to be like, we as a band, when we huddled up, we're like 2020 is going to be the year. That's what we thought. And then the lockdown happened, and we're like, you know what, let's give it a couple of weeks. Then a couple of weeks passed, and we're like, all right, so maybe it's a 3-month deal. Maybe that's. And we've been saying it since, and every time it kind of exceeded it. What was it like for you? Like, you guys recorded the album. Did you guys think immediately, you know what, let's just wait a little bit, this'll die out? Or were there plans canceled right away?
Yeah, there were some. Well, nothing was really planned, like, except the actual album release, so which was postponed at first. But there wasn't any proper show talk, I think. Maybe Hellfest. But of course it all got cancelled anyway. So yeah. And the thing is that we still don't even know yet what's going to happen.
We still don't, right?
Yeah.
Julian from Guilty Gorilla Management was just telling us earlier, Netherlands just went into lockdown until the end of the year again. So a bunch of festivals got canceled over there.
Ah, I didn't know about Netherlands. Okay. Yeah,
It's
but
just
I mean, it's
all the time.
Yeah, every day in France, it's pretty much bad news again. So yeah.
And
We no idea what's gonna happen.
yeah, did we? Someone's asking. Lars is asking, did we go into lockdown again? The shit you learn over here. Hey, listen. Don't take my word for it. I mean, I'm just saying someone said something. Don't go into panic. It's not lockdown. Just all the festivals are canceled. Okay, there you go. I mean, it's just as bad for people that work in festivals and play music, right? But yeah, it's pretty hectic. Let's just put it at that.
Yeah, it is.
Someone just wrote unmuted shows fake news. Hey, listen, we do what we can. We do what we can. You briefly mentioned your time in Norway with Abbath. Is that how you say it? I've always wanted to ask someone that was in the band, because I hear him say Abbath.
Well, I called him Olve, so never called him Abbath actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say Abbath.
Listen, that was one of the biggest surprises I ever saw, because I had no idea you were in it until you posted, "Oh, sorry to tell you guys I'm leaving." I was like, "Wait, what? When the fuck did he?"
Yeah, that was kind of a secret.
Yeah, you were masked. I think it was you had a character called the Creature.
Yeah, exactly. For so Olve, aka Abbath, is a big Kiss fan, and so I think I'm not really into Kiss, to be honest, but I think they have a record called Creatures of the Night. So that's why the name Creature was the thing, for the drummer. So yeah, I was wearing that mask, which was really heavy to play with, not really comfortable at all. And I had also that that huge jacket. Super heavy. Yeah, that was pretty hard to play drums with that live.
How did that whole situation go down? How did you get to meet the guys and join them? You did the album and then a tour with them, right? At least one tour that I know of.
Yeah, all thanks to Mika Barbarian from Season of Mist. So he's the boss from Season of Mist, the French label. And Abbath was on the label, and Benighted too. And Abbath just asked him like if he knew a drummer for the band. And for some reason, Michael thought of me and just asked me if I would be interested in it. And I've never been listening to Immortal before, to be honest. I wasn't really a black metal fan. And I just felt like, hey, why not? And it was really good to be a part of that record. That's one of the record I'm the most proud of, actually. It's a good mix between black metal and rock and roll, actually, to me.
Yeah. This is I've heard him say that that it's more of a why isn't this changing? More of a rock and roll approach to black metal. That's one of the coolest things about mixing that genre together.
Yeah, let's say I've seen Olve Abbath listening to Kiss or Motorhead, but I've never seen him listen to Mayhem or all these black metal bands. I think he's way more to rock and roll than black metal. I think he's playing rock and roll with that picture, yeah. Rock and roll with a black metal thing on top of that.
So that's you on the right there with the mask and the jacket and
actually on this very picture, it's not me, because that was just a photo shoot in Norway, and at the time I couldn't make it because I was stuck in France. So that's Abbath's son in this
cool.
picture. Yeah, and that was also one of the cool side of the mask. So I wasn't it wasn't mandatory for me to be always with them
Yeah.
for the picture. But we took several pictures in London and Sydney, and that pictures I was a part of.
But it's still, I mean, that's the get up, and that that looks hot. I'm hot just looking at that. It's like I'm sweating just looking at that image.
Yeah, and also like a funny story, like we had to put on the technical rider, we had to ask for black straws so I could drink through the mask.
Oh wow!
And because we had some shows in which I had some like pink or green straws, and it looked really stupid. I think that like black metal band and that mask and all, and drinking with pinkish straws, that wasn't really true black metal.
It didn't give off the right vibe. That's what it was. Sir Edmund Black says, I'm hot just looking at that. Listen, I meant like temperature. I'm not, you guys shut up. Motsam Kabani, what's going on, my dude? He says Abbath was supposed to be to perform in Dubai September 2020. Yeah.
COVID happened. Yep.
COVID happened. Everyone was supposed to perform.
Yeah, I guess it's gonna happen anyway. It's just probably postponed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, for those that don't know, Motsam in the chat is the guy that runs Metal East Records. The guy that got Sepultura over, and I can't remember all the other bands, but a bunch of the fucking bands. Motsam, shout out to Metal East Records. Yeah, it's been a crazy journey, man. It's been a crazy journey. Like when we first jumped on the call, we were saying like, so what's been up in the last 10 years? It's like it's a long fucking time, and a lot has happened in this crazy journey. I know we're highlighting like the musical achievements, like all the bands you got to share the stage with, all the albums you released and all that stuff, but as a person, what's been going on with you? How has the last, let's limit it to the last 10 years been for you? I was telling you, like, I got married. There's a kid. I'm gray as fuck now. Do you see that? Look at that. Look at that, you guys. Last time I saw Kevin, I was not gray.
I don't see anything.
See, that's why we're friends.
Yeah, exactly.
But how has this journey been?
So I have my girlfriend since 7 years now, Mayo. I met her. She's more into punk, hardcore stuff. Met her at a show, not a Benighted show actually. She doesn't care at all about Benighted music. And so we're living together. Outside of playing the drums, I also work as a regular roadie in Lyon in France, just like in between tours. And I have to admit that I kind of play a lot of video games too.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, a lot. And I'm one of the few lucky ones to own PS5. And yeah. So that helped.
Chat, you guys, listen, I just bought a mouse. I have a Mac. I never played any games, but I always get shit on by the chat because I tried to play games. I just suck at it. It hasn't been working out. But I see now I know what a PS5 is. Thanks, guys. But you said also during the pandemic the Twitch streams and stuff have been on your radar for a while, especially with the gaming and stuff. So is there a future where Kevin Foley has a Twitch channel?
No, I don't think so. I haven't been thinking about that. But you mentioned it. I'm not a guy who talks a lot, so I couldn't do what you're actually currently doing. Like it's, that there's a reason I'm a drummer and not a singer. So
it's the pots and pans, you guys.
No, I couldn't host any show like that.
But even have you considered like drumming on Twitch or the online world in general, like when all that stuff happened?
I also have been giving drum lessons, just regular drum lessons in real life, and I to be honest, I didn't really like it, because I'm more about playing instead of teaching, and also I tend to not take too seriously the things I'm playing. Like to me, like extremely fast double bass and blast beats is not super how to say it, serious. To me it sounds stupid. It sounds like almost like a dick contest, or it sounds silly to me, and I think that's one of the reason that made me learn these techniques kind of fast, because I didn't take it too seriously. I wasn't thinking like it's gonna be too hard to learn that, or and it just happened this way. And so the thing is that when I was giving lessons, some guys were coming. I was like, you'll see, it's pretty simple, and I just gave them some just like secrets and just some techniques, and like, let's say I was going from A to Z without going through B, C, D, E, like straight to the result.
Yeah.
And I think most of the students, I hope, were happy like that. But it was like, I didn't really enjoy giving lessons. I would rather be playing myself.
Yeah.
So
I want to actually talk to you about that, because I remember, and we also have a question based on this. I remember even back in the day when I think it was the Metallica show, or which we still have to talk about, by the way. Shut up, chat. I always talk about it. Whether it was at the Metallica show when you and I were talking, and you said like, I actually don't necessarily like blast beats and double bass. Like I wanna play some groove. And I was like, what the guy that's kicking ass at blast beats is like, I actually don't even like this stuff. How has that manifested? Like how has it? Because Metallica was in 2011, and then I slowly saw you were like kind of branch out into different things and express yourself in different ways. How has it? And I love the fact that you said that now, even like to your students, you're like, the blast beats, that's not the cool stuff.
No. So yeah, the thing I kind of hate the most, actually, besides blast beats, is trigger. The thing because the thing I love the most is the actual bass drum sound, and that was one of the things that made me kind of quit like extreme drumming. I can still do it like here and there for friends, but I wouldn't join a band if I had to play trigger again. Mm-hmm. It's just not my thing anymore at all. The only thing, the thing that kept me in Benighted for many years is that they're my best friends.
Yeah.
And I cannot imagine myself playing death metal with any other band. And that was also the case with Nervecell and Disavowed.
Yeah.
The guys were really, really friendly. And although I haven't been in touch for a long time, I have to say, with these guys, but I would happily talk to them. Of course.
Yeah, it was more about the connection with the people in the band and the actual traveling and all that stuff than the technique. But this does bring up a point, because Julian in the chat is asking, how and why did the blast beat hand technique happen? Is that to prevent flyaway, or is it a comfortable habit? For those that don't know, could you just explain, because it's strange. For blast beats are normally the standard grip, and then you use the fingers and the bounce back. to get that speed. A little bit of wrist in there, but Kev, you guys, you do a little something a little different, something very different actually.
My main secret is laziness. So the thing is, I just watched some guy on YouTube playing like that actually. So I put my so yeah, you can see here.
Yeah.
I put my I always do it only with the left hand though, not the right hand. But I put my stick in between these two fingers instead of having the traditional grip, you know. And I don't know, for some reason it just seemed easier for me. The only downside to that was that it made me bleed a lot at first from the fingers. But after that, I had like a huge, like super muscled finger. And it wasn't
I actually
any problem.
remember that. I remember you, the first time I saw you do that, I was like, what the fuck? You're like, yeah, dude, it's I don't feel anything here. It's all gone.
Yeah, at that time I was practicing a lot. But yeah, that was just, I chose to play that way because it was just easier for me, more natural compared to the traditional grip. So that's just how it happened. Yeah, and watching that on YouTube too.
And hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah,
because then you started developing your own kind of technique, right?
But the thing is, people told me that even Kid Moon back in the days sometimes was apparently holding the stick that way. I've never seen videos of him playing like that, but yeah, I've seen drummers, just a few drummers play like that as well. Maybe they are lazies like I am.
maybe it's just the easy way. Listen, you guys, every drummer here, just go try that out for a little while. See if it works. Let Kevin know. Let's go for it. Sorry.
No, just the secret is, but it's the same with the other grip. I'm just when I'm blessed like kind of fast, it just only the fingers, those two fingers, who do the movement, who do the work. Yeah, these two, and that's it.
There you go. I want to run through some of the questions in the box real quick, because we got one from Sir Edmund Black that says, "What games do you play?" We missed that during you telling us about the games.
So I have to admit, I kind of play a lot of FIFA, and
okay,
yeah, football. I'm a huge football fan, but my favorite games would be both Last of Us, God of War, Red Dead, or like all the, to be honest, the most famous ones.
There you go.
These are my favorite games.
That I played. I have a Mac, like I said, so I play CS:GO, but at 720, 30 frames, and I have to have it windowed, so because when I full screen it fucks up. That's kind of that's where I'm at. But hopefully that answers your question, Sir Edmund Black. And Cards Against Humanity. You're right, Julian. I played Cards Against Humanity online. That was
cool.
We have they're trying to get me to speak French. So test français ou oui c'est le habit là. I don't know. So yeah.
I cannot see it in the chat. Was it like questions that was asked?
As before, yeah. It's in the box, but even I speak better French. Okay, thanks you guys. Hey, listen. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Question from Julien.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm French. I was born in France, and I live in France too, in Lyon, to be precise.
Cool. There we go. You guys just want me to struggle. His French is just like his Arabic. Hey man, I speak Arabic. Okay. What's going on, Belfagor?
I only know a few words, like Arabic, few Arabic words, and these are from James from Nervecell back in the days, but only bad words, I have to say so. And I won't say them.
Oh, do you mean the really bad ones? Is that the ones you know?
Like actually only one, to be honest.
Okay, go for it. Let's go. I want to get Kevin Foley with a bad word in Arabic.
Shamuta, is it?
That is right. I actually remember that when we were teaching you that, it was because you guys had a song called "Slut," and we were like, "Hey, Benighted Sharmuta."
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there it is. Speaking of James and Nervecell in the Middle East, you've been here a bunch. You got to travel with Nervecell and meet that kind of crew. We have to ask this because I asked this to everyone, even though you've been through the reigns kind of thing, knowing the Nervecell guys and getting to play in the Middle East and know the Middle Eastern scene. What was your perception of the Middle Eastern metal scene in general, or the Middle East in general, before all of that went down?
Well, pretty simple. I didn't know anything about the Middle East scene, to be honest.
Yeah,
and I was really surprised because a lot of people are really into it, and I met a lot of friends back in Dubai, and a lot of metalheads for sure. I guess that the audience is getting. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the audience is getting bigger and bigger at metal shows, right? In Dubai.
It is, yes. It kind of fluctuates in the UAE, in Dubai specifically, because as you know, a lot of people just fuck off after a while. A lot of people are either here for work or studies, and at one point everyone just leaves. But it fluctuates, but the shows are getting bigger. Now, like, having Sepultura at the Hard Rock Cafe wasn't even an option back in the day. It was small bars and a couple of tiny bigger venues, but outside of after Desert Rock finished, nothing happened.
Oh yeah, Desert Rock, of course. And so isn't there any replacement for that? Desert Rock?
There has not been. Oh, thank you for the lamp of good for Derpy Boss. There hasn't been a replacement. No. So there's two guys that are working their asses off, Joe Scene and Middle East Records, and they're basically the only people in the Middle East that are putting on international shows. And the rest of the Middle East is still just as uptight. So this is actually a question in the chat. For example, when Sepultura did play here, they were supposed to go on to play Lebanon, or Lebanon first and then here, I'm not sure, but that got canceled. So it's still just as uptight. Like there's in Jordan there was a story where a bunch of people were playing cover show, like some Metallica and Guns N' Roses, and they got raided and taken in for questioning because they asked them, like, do you kill cats and shit like that, and they're like, no, we're just playing fucking music.
Supposed to play in Dubai.
That's the crazy thing. Mayhem did play in Dubai. So they were allowed and they got through, but they weren't allowed to have the stage set up.
Pigs and all that.
No pigs. No, that's all right. That's haram on and off stage here, bro. That's not going down either way. But yeah, they didn't have any of their stage set up. And I believe, I forget the name, but the vocalist was the only one with the corpse paint on. Everyone else, Attila. Everyone else had to strip down and just, regular jeans and t-shirt kind of thing.
Yeah.
But this is a question from Lord Zeppelin. What are your thoughts about canceled shows for Sepultura in Beirut, and your reaction to all that stuff, and also the Lebanese metal scene put on a tribute show playing a bunch of Sepultura songs as a reaction to that cancellation?
Okay, so what was the reason again for the canceling?
I think they don't give Sir Edmund Black and Lord Zeppelin, if you guys have a proper reason that they gave you guys, let us know in the chat. But I think it's metal. It was not allowed. It was satanic, I guess. Yeah.
Well, what do you want me to say? I guess it's like, just, to me it sounds just stupid.
Yeah.
It's complete. utter bullshit just to have a show canceled just because it's metal.
Yeah, Adnan Rosha in the chat says they got raided before even getting raided, and the reason was disrespecting Christian values. There you go. That's the official reason. Disrespecting Christian values.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not into any kind of religion, so to me, it sounds stupid to have a show canceled just because of one religion. I don't know. Yeah, stupid.
Yeah, we're still slowly working on the scene here, especially in terms of permits and permissions and what falls under performance and art versus what doesn't. Like even in Dubai to this day, like bands are allowed to play, but if you wear a mask or any sort of performance get up, that's completely banned. That falls into that scary territory that no one wants to talk about. They completely shut it down right away.
Yeah, but the same thing keeps happening at Hellfest. Like every year, there's a bunch of Christians trying to make the whole festival cancel, protesting and all that. Just always talking about all the people getting to the festivals are all just sons of Satan, and it just sounds funny to me that people can actually think that.
Yeah. I've heard some of the craziest shit being in the Middle East about why people. I mean, a while ago, Derpy activated Lamp of Good, where the lamps just turn on. And I've told the story a million times, but one of the reasons that's a thing is because back in Jordan, the authorities needed, even if you were playing cover songs, needed a list of the song title and band name you're covering along with the lyrics. And one of the bands wanted to cover Lamb of God, and going to Jordanian authorities and saying we're covering a band called Lamb of God, it wouldn't fly at all. So they changed it to Lamp of Good. and they didn't even check. They were like, oh, it's a good lamp. It's okay.
I love that band.
Yeah, I love the Lamp of Good.
I actually prefer them over Lamp of God.
The Lamp of Good, you guys. It's absolutely amazing. We have a question from Ace. And by the way, I just want to give a shout out to Ace. He has a Arabic speaking metal podcast from Saudi Arabia called Still Shout. I think one of the coolest fucking things. Okay,
I've seen the mention on Instagram. So
this guy's working his ass off. Arabic speaking as well, integrating a lot of people that might be excluded from metal content that love metal but might not speak the language well enough to be part of this kind of podcast and stuff. So shout out to him and shout out to everything he's doing. He's asking, Kevin, is there a specific band or bands you would love to join in a live performance?
Ooh. I actually don't know. Like, honestly, I have no idea. Maybe like if we speak only music, probably it would be between Motorhead, Slayer, or actually my favorite band is a band called Unsane.
Unsane?
Yeah. And you should check their album called Visquin. Visquin, all attached. It's just rock, just proper rock, but with a extremely huge sound. And it's really mean, actually, really dark for some rock. Pretty cool, like that. So this would be the bands. But I kind of always thought, although I'm not a fan, like maybe except the two first one, but to be in a band like Slipknot could be actually really fun. Like to be in a band with many people, not only 3 or 4, but to be like a proper group of people playing together. It must be a kind of a different experience.
Yeah, like organized chaos, basically. That's what that looks like.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. But I'm not a fan of the. Besides the two first albums from Slipknot, I'm not a fan. I'm not really into their music, to be honest.
Yeah. The one thing that we have to talk about, that the chat's going to give us shit for. Also, everyone was screaming Slayer as soon as you saw Slayer. You said Slayer. There was a lot of Slayer in the chat. Yeah. We have to talk about this tiny little thing that I've never talked about. This Metallica show. This band called Metallica. I don't know. I think they're from the Bay Area. They're somewhere from the States. Yeah, they're from So back in the day, I remember Rami from Nervecell giving me a call. I had tickets to see Metallica in Abu Dhabi. Metallica were coming down to the Middle East for the first time. Bought myself a ticket, and I was planning on going to the show. About a month before the show, Rami calls me and goes, "Hey man, sell your ticket." And I said, "Why? I still want to go. Even if you guys are touring, I'm still going to go to this show." And he says, "No, we're playing the Metallica show. We're opening for Metallica." And I just remember I wasn't even going to be on stage and my fucking jaw dropped. My heart was racing. I was like, this fucking Dubai death metal band opening for Metallica. And it exploded in my mind. What was that call like for you?
Oh, it was even... Oh, because the thing is that the very same day, so Nervecell told me that we both had this show and the tour, complete European tour, opening for Morbid Angel.
Yeah.
The same day we got the news for both things to happen. And of course, when they told me, I was like silent, I think. I was just too surprised to say anything. And I just remember that I actually called my mom and jokingly told her, like, so in your opinion, Mom, what would be the biggest band I could ever open for? And she just said, like, yeah, Metallica. And I just told her, so yeah, it's gonna happen. And she wasn't believing it. And at some point I was just like, oh, by the way, it's actually true. It's gonna happen. And yeah, that was some kind of moment. And the way it happened was I couldn't realize until the day before the show. We went to the stadium and we saw all these cases with the logo, Metallica logo. And from that moment, I almost couldn't speak. I was just too focused for the show. And there's that picture. I know that there were some negotiations to have that picture happening. And yeah, that's, I think, the best picture. Yeah, exactly, this one.
There it is right there. Listen, I was supposed to be a photographer for you guys for that whole show, and I took 2 photos. I was nervous that I took 2 photos that whole show. This was the first one.
Yeah.
And
what's the second one?
And then we finished off with this one.
Yeah, pretty good.
So that was the end of the set. 30,000 people. I don't remember how the numbers at the very end, but it was that's a crazy sea of people.
Yeah.
And I remember there's a video that we took that I was filming for Nervecell, where I actually walk up to you. I'll post it on the Discord for everyone that wants to see it. And I remember saying, "Kev, say something," and you're like, I can't. I was like, "All right, do a dance," and you just go, "Shit." And it was an intense time.
Yeah, most intense time ever for me, by far.
You know, calling up your mom and being like, "What's the biggest band you think I could open for?" And her saying Metallica. What was the family and friends reaction to the, and also it's not just like opening. You're opening for Metallica halfway across the world in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. It's like all of the things that are crazy happening at the same time.
Yeah, on the F1 race court. Like, yeah. Well, of course, everyone was happy. I mean, there's no. Yeah, everyone, basically all my friends were super happy, and all of them kept asking me how it was, and at the time, you know, I was on my phone just answering messages, like, so yeah, the show just happened, and of course I was just always in touch with them.
I wanna try and see if I can pull up that particular video. Just I haven't seen it in 10 years. Oh yeah, I wanna see what that was like. Let me try and make this work here. Technical stuff, you guys. Listen, Kevin, I've been doing this for a year, and I still fuck everything up. So thank you for bearing with me through the madness. And chat, you guys know what's up. Wait, we can't hear Kevin? Why can't you hear him?
Oh.
What are you talking about?
Can you hear me? No?
Yes. Yes, we can. Okay, cool.
Okay,
yes,
cool.
we can. Scared the crap out of me, Sir Edmund Black. Let me see if I can pull this off on the fly. We're gonna move to this screen and turn this guy on. All right, check this out, you guys. Check this out. Boom! Look at that, professional streamer right here. All right, let's. I haven't seen this in 10 years, like I said. So we'll watch this together, and just tell me your thoughts while we're watching this, because I'm curious what it was like, you know, looking back at it after all this.
Today is the big day. Gonna set up the soundtrack. Metallica. It's just fucking rad, dude. We're gonna leave in 11:30.
But this is my room, by the way. This is my old house. Yeah.
It's fucking rad, dude. We're gonna leave in 11:30. We're leaving an hour or two.
Cool.
Hey everyone, we're in Abu Dhabi now at the Arena. Totally legit. It's that dressing room. That does happen to be our logo. And we got a room, man. That's cool with Metallica. We're gonna hang out and stay tuned. It's a big night for us, man. Cheers.
Oh yeah, that drum riser. Gordon.
I remember that drum riser. I remember you walking up and going, "Wait, what? Why is it so high?"
Yeah, and the thing that happened during the show, that like the one of the cymbal went, you know, like that the other way.
Yeah.
And so the name, the guy was just so like in the back, Gordon.
Yeah.
He was, I think he was doing the drum teching.
Yeah, he was doing all the teching. He was doing guitars and drums.
Yeah, so I think maybe there was Barry as well.
Barry was doing. I think he was doing monitors as well. And,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it's Gordon. He had to go on stage during a song just to, you know, switch the splash cymbal up the right way, but the riser was so high that he had to take a chair to get that high. So it looked a bit like a Spinal Tap kind of scene.
You can see, looking awesome. It's probably about 48 degrees right now. But this is it, dude. This is the real fucking deal. You know what I mean? Metallica.
So yeah, that's the day before the show.
Yeah. That was the sound check. I remember that day was the scariest fucking thing, because I'm just gonna play part 4 right away.
Yeah, that's the
show. Because the show is absolutely bonkers. This is the part.
Hey, Leo.
Say some shit.
Some shit.
You never say anything.
No, I'm just a drummer, you know, I don't talk. Nothing to say, I'm not interesting, you know. I'm a drummer, I can show my ass. That's the only thing.
I can show my ass.
Oh yeah, that music. Yeah, that's it.
Photo shoot, big. Photo shoot.
Yeah, not my best moment.
I remember we didn't even film anything with them. We just took those 2 photos and we fucked right off. Not because we weren't supposed to do anything, but just because we were all so fucking nervous.
Yeah. I remember that I was actually embarrassed because so I got to talk with Lars. But the thing is that he was doing the talking. And while he was talking, I was just like, it's okay. So Lars is talking to me about double bass, and it's been like 10 minutes. And I couldn't realize that I couldn't answer anything.
My memory, and I kick myself every single time because looking back, like, you know, just let's have a conversation now that I've opened up a little bit in the confidence department. I remember him walking up to me, Lars specifically, and going, "So you're the photographer?" And I had a camera around my neck here, and I just I didn't even say yes. I just went. I didn't say a word, and then as soon as we got back to the room, I was like, "What a fucking idiot! Should have said something."
Yeah, proper Wage World thing.
I want everyone in the chat to check this out because this is the amount of people.
Yeah.
And by the way, I was holding the camera and the light in the other hand. I was doing this. This is how professional I was back then. I was just.
Oh yeah, Barry.
Were you wearing a Napster T-shirt with that level of fear for Lars?
That would have been a brilliant move.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
One minute for me.
Barney, 1 minute.
We have a brilliant question from Craggers.
Yeah, I've seen the question.
This moment right here.
Yep.
This moment. What's because is that's one of the biggest crowds you've played for?
Yeah.
What goes through your head in this particular moment?
I remember thinking Saint-Étienne, so which is my hometown. Saint-Étienne is pretty far.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just wondering, what the hell am I doing here? And then we just started play the show, and that's it. Yeah.
I just want to show a little bit of the actual performance.
Yeah.
Because we sync it because the audio is horrible, but I made it sync with one of the songs.
Yeah. That.
So this isn't your usual Metallica opening kind of music.
Yeah, pretty extreme.
Yeah. There's Ace moshing already in the pit. But yeah, it was definitely an experience, and I was stoked to be there with you guys, filming all the stuff and you know, getting to experience it along with you. But we have a question from Craggers that we're gonna
better like this for the light, maybe. Or is it worse? No, better.
Oh, that's better. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, cool.
The question from Craggers is how good does it feel knowing you play the same stage as Metallica and knowing you're a better drummer than Lars?
I have no idea because Lars is better. I mean, to be honest, I had a question in an interview before about how I feel about Lars. And when someone is asking you that, you know it's a trick question because he wants you to say that Lars sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's say he isn't the most precise drummer. But on the other hand, millions of drummers starting playing the drums because of Lars. So that makes him one of the best drummers ever. Just that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think these guys in the chat, everyone here, we always. I'll just show you. Because Metallica come up a lot, right? So outside of the podcast, what we do a listening party. Sometimes we do theme streams, and sometimes I play Svengali stuff and screaming live. And whenever someone new comes in, we have to ask, "Is this Metallica?" Because every non-metalhead, the first thing they say is Metallica. So we have to bust balls. Yeah, is this Metallica? We even have our own little James Hetfield. Where is he? Where's our little James Hetfield? Check this out.
Ooh, yeah, ooh.
He comes up and yells at us every little while. But yeah, man. I mean, like growing up listening to that band and including Sepultura and some Machine Head for me is a big one. Hatebreed, all that stuff. You getting to be able to experience sharing stage with them, sharing the actual stage with them as a band member as well as an opener, all that stuff. What's one of the ones that was the tick in the box kind of thing? What's one of the ones that's like this is one for the books? I'll remember this one for a while.
Well, this one was by far the biggest show ever. I think one of the best moments as well was getting to watch Slayer from the side of the stage and with Lombardo on drums, because I wasn't a huge fan of Slayer until then, and I wasn't a huge fan of Lombardo until that time as well. And then I think that's by far metal-wise the best drummer I've ever seen. Just by the facial expression, actually, just the proper aggression when he's playing. It's really something different. Never seen anything like this with any other drummer.
That's a good question. Having like, has anyone else had that kind of impact on you? Not even necessarily drummers, a musician that you saw play up close and personal, and you're like, God, this is something unexpected for me.
Well, yeah, Lombardo, of course. The guys from Converge as well. Yeah, I'm a pretty huge Converge fan. And yeah, this band's like that. And well, Lemmy, because on that day, and you were there, that was a funny experience for me because that happened at Brutal Assault.
Mm-hmm.
So I happened to watch, I think the other was Suicidal Tendencies. So I was watching them from the side of the stage. And I was thinking, wow, this is so cool, because I'm a huge SC fan as well. Then Morbid Angel. And that was when they just got back together.
Yeah.
And it was really good show. And then Motorhead happened. And the thing I remember was watching Motorhead, and next to me there were the guys from Suicidal Tendencies and Morbid Angel looking at Motorhead the way I was looking at their own shows.
Yeah.
And it was impressive to see like the level of respect everyone has for Lemmy.
Yeah. I remember that one specifically. I even remember they had taped off the side stage because they just everyone was so wanted to get as close as possible. But there was this weird generational, like you know, the Morbid Angels watching Lemmy, us were watching Morbid Angels, and Suicidal Tendencies were there, and it just felt like we're all just fucking fans hanging out, being fans. It was a very cool experience.
And on that day, there was a funny thing. So Eric, who was Benighted's bassist before, he's a huge Motorhead fan. He has like Motorhead tattoos all over his body. And so Lemmy was going on stage with his bass tech, and the bass tech has his light like this, showing the floor and the way to the stage. But Lemmy went the other way and happened to go like this face to face with Eric, Benighted's bassist. And I've never seen someone turn so white, so pale this quick. And Eric was already completely drunk. It just came to me and told me, I'm gonna sleep right now. And he didn't even watch the show. He was too drunk and too impressed. He just went straight to his car and slept in his car, completely wasted.
Got close enough to Lemmy. That was it. You didn't need anything else.
Yeah, didn't care about the show. Just met Lemmy.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, man.
That eye contact with Lemmy.
Yeah, for me, it was. I have because we never got enough fucking shows here, right? I got that experience meeting bands I looked up to and stuff from the Desert Rock Festival, working backstage or being with Nervecell or doing any of that stuff. But those specifically that era, that 2011 Czech Republic Brutal Assault Festival and those guys, it was one of those experiences where like you were walking around and like Hatebreed is one of my favorite bands of all time, and seeing them set up and just walking, you know, and having conversation with people like Nick from As I Lay Dying and these people that you know, growing up in the Middle East, we're never gonna hang the fuck out with these people. And it was a good experience.
Yeah, I think these guys were pretty friends with Nervecell. I think they did shows together in Asia.
Yeah, they did. They did a tour together in Asia just before all the madness went down. But that was right after the tour when we saw them in Brutal Assault Festival as well. It was it's crazy, but I always love to wind down the episode with this question, because I feel like, and you guys know what's coming up. I feel like it brings up a lot of different options for every guest. I'm actually I'm gonna do this right. I'm gonna cut the background music. Let's get a little closer here. Let's get it right. Kevin, way too sexy. Wait, there's a sexy wink option here. We'll show Kevin the sexy wink later, guys. Kevin, if you had a time machine and you were able to go back in time,
shenanigans. That's in the video with Mark Hunter.
Yeah, exactly. Time for some shenanigans. If you had a time machine, you were able to go back in time and talk to young Kevin, talk to Kevin just as you were getting into the world, just before starting the first punk band. What was it called? White Card. Just before White Card popped off, and 32-year-old Kevin goes back, and 33-year-old Kevin goes back and talks to 12-year-old Kevin. What would you say?
You look really ugly.
Was there poor fashion choices in White Card?
No. Oh yeah. For myself, yeah, of course. I had red dreadlocks at some point, so yeah, that's a poor choice of thing. No, I don't know. I have no idea what I would say. That's a trick question as well. You're gonna play with some cool bands, apparently. Yeah.
Would young Kevin even like if you think about going back to 12-year-old you, if you said, listen, you're gonna be sharing a stage with a bunch of bands, you're gonna be touring, and you're actually a professional musician for the rest of your life, what would that be a thing that you thought of back then? Was it part of the goals, or did you just like hope for that, but it wasn't necessarily a driving thing?
No, how to say it? I've never been really overthinking this. Like, the thing is that I didn't base my life on having any other choice than making music. So that's one of the reasons I knew I was going to quit school as soon as possible. So yeah, like, live the life and no regrets. So yeah,
that's a really cool point, because I didn't think about it. Most people, they approach it with the idea of like, I am going to try to do this thing. There you go, Carl, with the clap. Thank you very much, Carl. I'm going to try to do this thing. But not a lot of people just say, period, this is what I do. This is the way I am. That's it, right?
But the thing is that, to be honest, I'm not always make a living out of music. It depends on the time period. Yeah. Because I've been playing with quite some bands, but in between, when I don't have any band, I have to say I just have regular work, also. Yeah. So it depends. Nowadays it's, well, except COVID, of course. Nowadays I can make a living out of music, but it wasn't always the case. Like, for example, right after Abbath, in between Abbath and Nostromo and Lofofora, I was just unemployed, So yeah, it depends on the time, but the main thing would be to never lose hope. That's the thing.
Yeah. What is there something that I know it's kind of a generic question, but is there something that keeps you motivated, like a safe ground? Like, I don't know how to explain it, guys. You have to help me in the chat. What's the word? Like a foundation thing. When something goes a little strays from the path a little bit, or gets a little harder, like say during that phase, is there something you link back to, or you just know that I'm gonna keep doing what I do, and somewhere down the line it'll happen?
Well, that's the thing. That's almost the same thing as when I talked about the fast blast beat and all that. I just don't take it too seriously. That's the thing, I would say. I don't stress too much. I'm not a really overthinking person. So if it's gonna happen, it's just gonna happen. And you're only here for like 80 years or 60 or whatever. Just make the best out of it, and that's it.
Make the best out of it. Hell fucking yeah. Those are some good motivational words to end our episode, you guys. And yeah, dude, I just want to say thank you so much for your time, and genuinely as someone that, by the way, the very first time I met Kevin, you guys, I had to share a bed with him. That's what I remember. It was you get to know someone real quick.
Was it in Germany?
I think it was in Germany, somewhere in Germany, where we
maybe.
Yeah, where we
there were just two festivals.
One of the rooms.
Yeah, there were just two festivals with Vader. That's the reason I got called, because Nervecell didn't want to cancel the tour because of those two festivals. One in Namur, I think, and another one in Germany, both with Vader.
Dude, listen. You don't consume alcohol or anything. You're borderline straight edge. I'm lucky. I remember my last name at this point. It's been absolute pleasure. And dude, you're one of
Same
the
here.
OGs.
Cool.
One of the
Thanks
fucking
a lot.
OGs. And
Thank you.
where can everyone go to find more of the stuff? And get to know you a little better. I had the link to your Instagram up. What we're gonna do is post the new album and everything on Discord. But where else can people find your stuff?
So yeah, Instagram, Facebook. But I have to say, I've been spending way less time on Facebook and Instagram than I was spending before.
Yeah,
I'm not a huge fan anymore of social medias like that, because I actually don't care about what my friends are eating or doing or whatever. I just want to meet them, in person or have a phone call. But yeah, you can just find me on Facebook, I guess, and Instagram. And next year with Hjelvik, we're going to be playing Hellfest. The day before, we're playing Tons of Rock, a festival in Norway. And the day after Hellfest, we're playing Rock Imperium in Spain. So these are the 3 first shows for the band, and I mean, pretty good for first shows.
Yeah. You guys are coming out the gate completely swinging for the fences with the release, with everything. It's pretty fucking awesome to see.
Yeah, the very first show, that's the festivals with Iron Maiden, so not bad for a first show. Yeah.
Not bad for a first show, to say the least.
Yeah.
If you guys have any last quick questions for Kevin, let us know in the chat, and then we'll there you go. and then we're gonna, don't go anywhere, because we're gonna be rating our brethren. Julian prepared a playlist based on top rock and metal drummers, and since we had Kevin on, and we're going to be deep diving into that stuff over there. One last question from me. Favorite metal drummer from the modern times.
So for metal, I would say Lombardo. But at some point, I was a huge fan, not of the music, but only the drummer, A.B. Cunningham from Deftones.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I would say the best, although not my favorite, because Lombardo. But the best would be, if there is a best, probably Eloy Casagrande.
Oh yeah.
Just something else.
Yeah, we actually got to open for them when they played here, and dude hits. I've never seen anyone swing that hard at the kit. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
All right, there you guys go. We're like I said, we're gonna go party over at Julian's stream. So don't go anywhere. Kevin, again, thank you so much, dude. It's been an absolute pleasure hanging out. This will be up on Spotify and YouTube and everything for everyone that wants to go back and listen to it, or that came in a little later. And you guys know what the deal is. Kevin, to officially end the episode, the guest has to say the words, hit the outro. So whenever you're ready, in whatever way you want to say it, let us know that the episode is over.
So I'll just go and take my dog out. So I'll be back in 15 minutes, and I'll just say, hit the outro at that time.